Hey, future aviators! Welcome to Brightifyme Academy. Your journey to the cockpit starts right now. Stay tuned, stay motivated, and thank you for being here. Let's fly high.
All right, let's get right into it. If you're an aspiring pilot in India, there's one giant question looming over everything. How on earth do you pay for it all? Well, today, we're going to break it all down. Think of this as your financial flight plan, a clear map to get you from the ground right into the cockpit. So, let's get started.
I mean, this is the big one, right? This is the question. It can honestly feel like a hurdle bigger than any exam, bigger than any flight test you'll ever take. You've got the passion, you know you've got the drive, but where does the money come from? How do you actually fund this dream and make it real? And look, let's be real here. It is not cheap. The cost of pilot training has it's skyrocketed over the last few years. And that's not just in India, it's a global thing. It can feel super daunting, I get it. But here's the good news. It's not impossible. Not by a long shot. There are actual concrete paths you can take, and we're gonna walk through every single one of them, starting right now. Okay, so let's kick things off with path number 1, the scholarship route. This is pretty much the dream scenario, right? It's the path where someone else helps foot the bill, which obviously makes it the best way to go, if you can get it. So when we talk about scholarships, you've basically got two main flavors, government and private, and they work pretty differently. Government scholarships, they're usually reserved for students from very specific categories, but private scholarships, on the other hand, they tend to focus more on your academic merit and your family's financial situation, your socioeconomic background, without any kind of caste criteria. All right, let's dig into the government options a little deeper. The central government, specifically the Ministry of Social Empowerment and Justice, actually has scholarships for your commercial pilot license, your CPL. And we're talking real money here, up to 5,000 rupees an hour for flying time. And they might even help with your type rating. Now, this is mainly for students from certain categories like SC and OBC. Some state governments might also have programs, but honestly, finding clear info online is tough. So here's the key takeaway. You have got to contact your state government offices directly. That's where you'll get the real story. Okay, now what about the private side of things? Well, like we said, this is all about merit and financial need. You've got big names like the JRD Tata Trust. They have a bunch of different schemes, and some of them include CPL training. Then there's the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Their website can be a bit confusing, but they are known to fund CPLs. So again, reaching out directly is your best bet. And don't forget, some academies have their own scholarships too. Vinador Vision, for example, might sponsor up to half of your flying training if you nail your DGCA exams and check all their other boxes. So scholarships are great, but what if they don't work out for you? It happens. And that brings us to our second major path, the self-reliant route. This is all about taking matters into your own hands. It's where you take direct control of your financial destiny through pure hard work and really smart planning. And I think this quote just says it all, doesn't it? At the end of the day, you can say, I did it all my own. That's the whole spirit of this path. It's about self-sufficiency. Yeah, it's probably the tougher road, no doubt about it. But that feeling of accomplishment, knowing you funded your own dream, that's something really, really special. So what's the actual blueprint here? How do you do it? Well, tons of successful pilots started out exactly this way. The plan is pretty simple, really. First, you get a job in the aviation industry. Could be cabin crew, could be ground staff, anything to get your foot in the door and start learning. Then you save. You save like crazy for a few years, and then you use that money to sponsor your own training. Look, it's gonna take longer. You're not gonna be a pilot at 19, but you will be a pilot who got there on your own terms. Now, the other big option on this self-reliant path is, of course, an education loan. And when you look at what's offered, banks like the State Bank of India can fund up to 100% of your CPL training. 100%? On the surface, that sounds amazing, right? Like the perfect solution, the full cost covered. But, and this is a big but, there's always a catch. And here's the catch, right here in this quote. This is the critical warning. If you take out a 100% loan, your monthly payments, your EMIs, are going to be huge. So if you don't land an airline job literally the day after you finish training, you're going to be in some serious trouble. Or, as the source says, in some soup. It's a massive, massive risk you have to think about very carefully.
So what's a smarter, safer way to do it? Well, the advice we've seen is to go for a more balanced mix. Try to cover about half the cost yourself with your own savings. And then take a loan for the other 50%. That way, your debt is at a much more manageable level. It's a safety net, so you won't get completely sunk if it takes a few months to land that first job in the cockpit.
All right, let's move on to our third and final path, and this one is a completely different ballgame. We're talking about the service route. This is where your training is 100% sponsored in exchange for your service to the country. Yep, we're talking about joining the Indian Air Force or maybe the Army's Aviation Wing. If you can pass those tough entrance exams like the NDA or AFCAT, the government pays for everything, all of your training. It is quite literally a free way to become a pilot. Now hold on, it's not a 100% guarantee you'll get a flying job even if you get in, but it's an incredible option. And think about this, after you've served your time, commercial airlines will be lining up to hire you. Sometimes they'll even hire you directly as a captain. So you get this amazing career in the armed forces and a clear path to the airlines, all without paying a rupee for your training.
Okay, so let's pull back for a second. We've just looked at 3 totally different financial runways for you to take off from: the scholarship route, the self-reliant route, and the service route. Each one has its own unique takeoff procedure, its own flight path. Now, the big job for you is to figure out which one really fits your life and your situation.
And to help you do that, we've put together this quick summary. It really lays it all out, side by side. And what you'll see right away is that every path has a trade-off, right? Scholarships give you financial freedom, but man, they are competitive. Self-reliance gives you total control, but that means years of saving or taking on some serious financial risk. And the service route? It's fully funded, but it's a huge long-term commitment. Just take a look and see which of these pros and cons really resonates with where you're at.
So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway from all of this. Yes, the dream of flying is expensive. It's a huge investment, but it is not out of reach. As you've just seen, there are multiple runways ready for you. The only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. Which one are you going to choose for your takeoff?